And this is my first time vlogging, and it's a little bit awkward for me. It's probably doesn't help the situation that I'm in a bed without my shirt on. But anyways, about a week ago, I got into one of those silly little Facebook fights where someone said something extremely stupid and ignorant on someone's status. So I posted something witty back in defense of that person, and then, of course, I expected some level of intellectual comeback, but they posted something just as stupid and ignorant, which irked me even more. And so I decided to just ramble on about it on my blog, except this time vlog, and it really doesn't matter because I'm probably just preaching to the choir, because I can't imagine anyone with a difference in political opinion actually wanting to listen to me, because it seems no one has any like common sense or care when it comes to meaningful political deliberation, which is something I'll get to later. Um, but anyways, for those people that don't know, I live in this very, 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 very small town called Delta, Colorado. And in this very, very, very small town, the only greater sin than being a homosexual or having an abortion is being a liberal. And that's really not an over exaggeration. If you looked in the court books, you'd probably see like a 2% of the people would be liberal. It's like that town where liberals hide in the shadows because conservatives go on these like giant marches and street paroles and go hunting for liberals. Um, but anyways, it's there's kind of this like negative image, in this town about what a liberal is and what a liberal stands for. And so I kind of just want to clarify for everyone who has any who for anyone who is watching, especially in this town, and is especially conservative, who seems to think that any liberal standpoint is completely anti-Bible and therefore is nothing but sin and therefore really shouldn't have any part in American politics, which is also extremely stupid because no one seems to understand the separation of church and state. But anyways, being a liberal doesn't really, it doesn't make me a baby killer. It doesn't make me a hippie tree hugger. It doesn't make me some fascist or Marxist or, Nazi who wants to kill Jews because, I think the Jews, did us all a favor by killing Jesus. Not really. Not really. I'm just kidding. Anyways, being a liberal in a nutshell is basically being broad-minded or tolerant and different of different views and standards of behavior for living. We're a progressive political society. We like to implement ideas into our society, into our economy that are going to extend democracy and distribute wealth more evenly and protect the personal rights and liberties of different individuals. Liberals are generally very humanitarian. They want they look after people because we're all human, and a homeless person, you can't just say that a homeless person chose to be homeless or that they choose to be homeless, because a lot of the times it has to do with a lot of social and economic factors that are largely due to our declining economy and our inability to control our own government, which I think could easily be fixed if it weren't for the fact that the top 5% of our nation were actually running this country. And so, I think it's important to, kind of say that, liberals aren't, just these insane anti-Bible people. They're actually people that care about people. And so, and I mean, just because I'm liberal doesn't necessarily mean that I'm totally anti-conservative, and it doesn't mean that I'm, not for some, that I totally disagree with any form of religion in our society. It's quite the opposite. There are some conservative viewpoints that I totally understand and to some extent agree with. And I think that religion is a very vital, important aspect for the individual. I personally think it has no, place in society, but that's just my opinion. I understand that there's like an importance in, looking at those, discussing those issues. And that's, the second point of what I want to talk about is meaningful political deliberation. Because when you idiots get on Facebook and say something like Obama has just sat on his fat ass all day, that really doesn't make your point come across any better. Or if you say healthcare is unconstitutional and then someone asks you why and you say it just is unconstitutional, that just makes you sound ignorant. It just makes you sound like an ignorant bigot who has no idea what the hell they're talking about. And it really just like aggravates me to like no end. And so I mean, I think meaningful political deliberation, is something that our society especially has kind of lacked, because now it just seems like, Republicans are totally anti-spending anything, and Democrats are just like, let's make sure we have more Democrats so that the Republicans can't stop us, and so now it's just like, let's not discuss anything, let's just try and keep each other from doing things, and so no one really wants to discuss the issues. Everyone's just more concerned on whether the jackass or the elephant is the one in control of the White House and who has more seats in Senate and the House of Representatives, because then everyone knows if there's more of them, that they're going to get they're going to get their bills passed, regardless of whether or not it's in the best interest of the United States populace. And so I think it's important that, we as individuals start, looking at things in a, more educated standpoint and researching things before developing opinions, and especially researching things before we go and post things on, social network sites like Facebook, because not only does it make you look like an idiot, but you just fuel this giant fire, and you just fuel this continuance of ignorance in our political mainstream. And so we're really not going to see any improvements in our country, especially when people aren't willing to look at the different viewpoints and collaborate with one another and reach some level of middle ground in order where everyone's happy. Because I was under the impression that because we're a democracy, we look out for the entire populace, like the everyone in our society. And lastly, I want to talk. Well, hold on, I forgot what I wanted to talk about lastly, because I just kind of got caught up in meaningful political deliberation. Oh yeah. Lastly, leading off of meaningful political deliberation, I'd like to tell the idiot who posted on Facebook that Obama has just sat on his fat, lazy ass that you're just, one, completely retarded, and obviously don't pay attention to the news, because Obama has actually got more accomplished in the past 7 presidents before him, and so you're really not making a case at all. And as far as things that are beneficial or non-beneficial to our country, there are a lot of what society as a whole seems to view as beneficial things that Obama has done for our country. And if you log on to whatthefuckhasobama.com right now, it's a political satire webpage that lists all the positive things that Obama has done for us, and then put all the little ignorant people's remarks in the bottom, like, so what, or so what is this doing for me, or it really isn't beneficial. And it just continues to add all these positive things that Obama has done for our nation, and that everyone seems to overlook because everyone is so busy pointing out the fact that he's black, or so busy pointing out the or so busy trying to state that he's not a United States citizen, or so busy just saying that he sits on his fat lazy ass all day, when really you're the one that's sitting on your fat lazy ass all day, because you don't take the time to look at the news and see what's actually going on. And so, to list a couple of the things that Obama has done, Obama has required health insurance plans to disclose how much of the premium actually goes to patient care. He's added 4.6 billion USD to the Veterans Administration budget to recruit and retain more mental health professionals. He's significantly increased funding for the Violence Against Women Act. He's lifted restrictions granting Cuban Americans unrestricted rights to visit family and send remnants to the island. He's eliminated subsidies to private lender middlemen of student loans and protect student borrowers. He's increased funding for national parks and forests by 10%. He's significantly extended Pell Grants, which help low-income students pay for college. He's expanded hate crime law in the U.S. to include sexual orientation through the Matthew Shepard and James Byrd Jr. Hate Crimes Prevention Act, and he's provided stimulus funding to boost private sector space programs. And this is just a couple of the things that this site's even mentions. I mean, there's probably hundreds of more that the site goes on to talk about. And so, I mean, all of your comment that Obama hasn't really done anything really kind of falls through. And if you're just gonna and the response to me showing this website was, oh well, great, all he's done is given gays more rights and harmed our economy, which really just makes you sound like a prejudiced bigot and a prick who really needs to just fall off the face of the earth or go crawl in a hole and die, because you'd probably be doing a lot more there for everyone than you are doing now. So the next time you want to post something stupid on Facebook, maybe you should figure out what a liberal is, and then you should research the topic and actually utilize meaningful political deliberation so that you understand what you're talking about. And the next time you want to diss on Obama, you should do so in a way that actually has some level of impact and isn't just some statement that talks about what, or that is the exact opposite of what Obama does on a daily basis. And so I think this is going to conclude my vlog because we're almost reaching the 10-minute mark and I've just rambled on, and I feel kind of like I've said a couple of things I probably shouldn't have said in hindsight, but that's what I get for just, speaking my mind. So I hope everyone enjoyed, and I'll be posting more vlogs, probably. I don't really know. I'm not sure if I like it. I'll see what everyone else says. But yeah, bye.